Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Bam! Coming to you from New York City, it's us, Miss Lady Ada the engineer, Mr. Lady Ada on camera control.
That's right.
We're the engineer and camera controller. And we are here to entertain you and talk about electronics and all the news and show new products. We have an exciting show tonight. We're broadcasting from our downtown Manhattan factory, where it is raining like crazy, and hopefully
it's raining cats, dogs, and lizards. Apparently,
it's just crazy rain. But we're inside, and we think we're safe, and hopefully there won't be a flash flood. So tell them about tonight's show. On tonight's show, the code is FONA. We'll tell you why soon, and you can use FONA. This is the logo, but it's the same code. You can't type in logos though. We will talk about what was on the show and tell. A fantastic, amazing show and tell. Cool people and more. Pack the mailbags and stop by. Emails, letters, and more from people saying things to us that are very nice. Adafruit Learning System, all the best tutorials in the world for learning electronics and more. We're going to have some wearable electronics, all the news that's fit to wear. 3D printing, all the news that's fit to 3D print. Some Raspberry Pi news and more. We're going to have a ton of new products. We're going to answer your question. We're going to have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get going here. Bam. I love this, we'll talk about this, our 3D printed LED knuckles. You just like going bam. Bam. Yeah. Well, I got the necklace, and I've also, this isn't really too bright. I gotta this looks good in person, but the camera can't handle me. Yeah. And all my toys. Look how Ask an Engineer is just kind of evolving into us just wearing all the products. I had the hat. I'm gonna play the game girl while you do some stuff. So let's pay some bills first. The code is FONA. It's 10% off everything that's in stock until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. We are celebrating the launch of FONA, our new open source phone. We'll talk about this soon. One of the only phone manufacturers in the U.S. right now. That's right. We actually get to say that. Well, it's not a completed handset, but we are one of the only phone makers in America. And it's a phone. What's your definition of a phone? You have to make calls on it, right? It needs to have keypad and a screen, I think. That's what you think a phone is? Yeah. My iPhone doesn't have a keypad. Yeah, but it has a virtual keypad. Oh. Well, okay. we're gonna have other phones. Well, you have to be able to dial something somehow. Okay. Right now we can't, but we're working on it. All right. So that's the code. Little bit of news. We still take Bitcoin. That's right. There was a big. They figured out who the person was who bought all the Bitcoins. It was a VC guy, who everyone knows. Yeah, and he's using it as a liquidity for a Bitcoin trading platform. Yeah. So it's kind of here to stay. So we're seeing.
we run these cool reports. I'll post them up in a future show where we watch Bitcoin sales over the month, and then we watch Google Wallet and Amazon payments, because we have all these different forms of payment, and then we also have PayPal and credit card. It's interesting. Bitcoin's been steady, and we just added Amazon payments, and lots of people like using that. And then Google Wallet's been pretty steady too. But just to skip around with the news a little bit, I am going to mention that Newegg, one of our favorite companies, now takes Bitcoin. And they built their own Bitcoin system.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't use any of the current...
They don't use BitPay or like...
They built their own.
Bit something or Bit other thing?
So,
interesting. So they actually hold Bitcoins?
Yeah. And they said they had the most advanced Bitcoin refund system, because I think that's one of the problems.
That is a problem.
Yeah. So they did it. But Adafruit was one of the first, and now there's Overstock, there's Newegg, EvilMed Science. Yeah, Tiger Direct, EvilMed Scientist Laboratories, like Dish Network, like all sorts of weird things. If you have a Shopify store, it's accepted.
I like the Bitcoin. I mean, as a store owner, one of the nice things. I mean, unfortunately, there's no refunds. One of the nice things is there's no chargebacks, and we don't have to pay 4% to the credit card companies. Because normally, if you pay with a credit card, we have to pay like 2 to 4% to Amex, MasterCard or Visa, and because of that, or PayPal, same thing. Yeah. And because of that, that adds more to the cost. So if we get more Bitcoin orders, we'll actually be able to lower costs because our expenses will go down.
Okay. And just a reminder, $99 more, you get a free PCB ruler.
Fancy ruler.
$250 more, UPS crown. Free.
Is it 200 or 250 more?
I don't remember. Let me check.
Okay.
You know how I'll check? I'll go to adafruit.com/free.
No, just because sometimes I thought it was.
That's a good thing you asked, lady.
It's 200 or more.
It's 200 or more. You're quizzing me.
So if you were testing me to see if I would test you.
Yeah, if you ever want to know what the free deals are, just go to adafruit.com/free.
That's right.
Because we put it there all the time.
$200 free UPS ground shipping, continental US, and $99 or more, you get this extremely handy ruler.
Okay. Next up, show and tell. We had some fantastic folks on the show and tell. Lady Ada, go for it.
I'm going to go through this list.
Yeah.
We had, 6 people, 7 people on the show. It was actually fun. We had some new people, too, which was always good. Tony came in again. Tony is Adafruit Northwest. He's in the U.S., but in the Northwest of the United States. And he has been working on more Raspberry Pi, Python, BeagleBone Black adaptations. So he's been working on the LED backpacks. We have LED backpacks for bar graphs, bicolor bar graphs, 7-segment, 14-segment alphanumeric, 8x8, single color and bicolor matrices. It's a huge backpack party. These backpacks are so great because you use I2C, you can connect both of them together, and they're really easy to use. And they're very inexpensive too because the chip is very simple. And he's been adapting the code for the backpacks so that they work with Python, and it's like a nice structure. And then now that it's ported to Python, you can use it with the Pi or BeagleBone Black or any single board Linux computer. He'll also write a tutorial soon. He's also got Fona number 2. We overnighted him one, and so he's already done a BeagleBone Black project with Fona where it speaks the text message that it receives. So you can text it, and we'll say, SMS message received, hello world, this is a text message. So check out the video, that's fun, and I'm sure he'll also do a write-up on that. We're going to see a lot more Fona projects coming out as people get them in their greedy little hands. Noah and Pedro came in. They are Adafruit South. They do 3D Thursday and many of the fun 3D printing projects. Last week, they showed off the great 3D printed necklace and 14-segment knuckle duster. And this week, they are wrapping up the Pi Girl, which we'll talk about more on 3D Thursday. It's a DIY battery-powered Raspberry Pi Nintendo emulator. I played Zelda and Super Mario 3. It's a really beautiful print. They made a 2-piece snap together design. It's awesome. They're maybe doing camera slider next. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Lewis came in and he saw an ad where some people who owned Apple phones used their phones to launch a rocket. And he said, I can do that with a Raspberry Pi. I don't need to have this like closed-sourced Apple iOS bullshit. So he built it. And he made a Raspberry Pi that uses Wi-Fi, and they can remotely launch, battery launch a rocket through a phone or anything else because it acts like a web server. So guys, it works on Android too. Nice work, Lewis. And we need to do another sticker because the sticker is on the rocket, and so that rocket's probably not going to make it, so we'll have to give him another sticker. Brian came in, and he's a new ham radio enthusiast who came in. He's WB4ES, and he has a D-Star to XB to display adapter, so he's going to be receiving D-Star data from his ham radio rig, and he wants to transmit that wirelessly to display in his car using an XB. So he's just working on that, has microcontroller stuff, has like an OLED display. It's just in progress. Looks really good. I really like to see ham radio projects because there's not as many of those, and I like to see how they combine new technology with older technology. C. Scott is also checking out the older and newer technology and mushing them together. He has a Yamaha CS80, the Vangelis, what did he say it was used in?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner soundtrack, and many other fine 70s and 80s soundtracks. I think it was in 80s. Synthesizer. I don't know much about the CS80, but he said this basically the synthesizer is like an amazing synth, no longer made, and has like 250 custom chips in it. And so he's slowly but surely designing voice cards for the Yamaha CS80 that use off-the-shelf parts, and he's laying them on Eagle and basically recreating the synthesizer. And it's amazing. He's going to be showing up over the next couple months with his progress, and he also plays some great tunes on these synths as well. Roberto plus his water dragon lizard Dave showed up. This is the cutest little lizard, and he's making a remote control lizard feeder. And I'm sure there'll be a big old black involved later, but for now, he's using a little remote control to flap open a box to release crickets so that this water dragon can get all excited and eat them. Except that this water dragon was not performing up to its expectation, was just sitting there staring at the food, not eating it. So hopefully he'll get hungry. He'll eat it. Maybe we'll get a photo of this lizard feeder. Because we've seen cat feeders and dog feeders, but this is the first lizard feeder. I don't think I've seen a lizard. This is it. Lizard feeder.
We've seen cat feeders, dog feeders, cat laser stuff, dog throwing
He's got
tools.
the lizard thing covered.
Yeah.
Like every time he shows up, Roberto and his assistant have a fine lizard project. And then Ben came in, also a new person, and he has a really cool project. He took a digital microscope that connects to a computer and then made an XY gantry. So it can move the bed underneath the microscope, or maybe it moves the microscope. I'm not quite sure which moves, but basically it can pan around and zoom in 30 times into whatever specimen he's looking at. He likes to look at pond scum to look at all the organisms living in it. So he uses this microscope to zoom in it, and because he can he can pan around. There's no tilting, just panning. He can zoom in and follow an organism around and see how it's acting, and he can also take screenshots of his computer. And then next year, when he takes a biology class, he'll be able to use this. And I told him he's probably going to ace biology because he's like way ahead of anybody else already.
Okay,
fancy stuff.
All participants on the show and tell get as seen on the show and tell sticker, but Ben is getting a biohacking badge. We have 400 people in the in the show and tell circle. Lady Ada, how do people get in the show and tell circle?
If you would like to show off your panning microscope or Raspberry Pi controlled rocket on next week's show and tell, or any other fine project, you can join the hundreds of fascinating hobbyists and makers and DIYers and crafters and artists and all that good stuff who show up every week on the show and tell. We have the show and tell every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All you have to do is get invited once into the show and tell circle by going to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/plus Adafruit. Look for the post where we say comment here to be added, and you will be invited every single week. Just remember to ask to be invited more than 10 minutes before the show. Hopefully more than a couple hours for the show. A day before is ideal. Give us some time. We have to navigate the Google Plus. We're setting up the show. So last minute, not so great.
Okay, next up. Packed mailbag. These are emails, letters, and more that we get from people. Thank you for sending these. We really appreciate it. The team all likes to read it. This one is from Iceland. Thank you for a wonderfully fast response. I will make sure to point my friends to your website when they ask me where I bought this stuff, which they are guaranteed to do so. With greetings from Iceland. Guten Morder. Guten Morder?
Good Munder?
Good in email.
Good at email.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit the news, and then we're going to do a ton of new products.
Okay.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
I know.
This Friday is 4th of July. That means everybody at Adafruit gets a paid day off except for Lady Ada and I. We will be here working.
We're always working.
Yeah, working. But
I have so many new prototypes to go through.
No, I know.
I'm so excited. And I have a full day to myself.
Yeah, your Independence Day is sitting at your computer and doing stuff in Eagle and testing prototypes. So this is our little LED flag. That's kind of cute with little Adafruit stars. Isn't that nice? So if you place orders anytime between now and
2 days
Monday,
yeah.
It's not going to ship until Monday probably.
Yeah,
so
there's no postal pickup, UPS, delivery, nothing on Friday at all. Everything's closed. Complete holiday.
That's it. So that's the news. It's on every order. It's on the website. We put it everywhere. We just let everybody know. If you place an order overnight, tomorrow, Thursday, it will not arrive to you till Monday. Next up. I had two little things. I noticed a trend that I really like online right now.
Okay.
Lots and lots of people are making animated GIFs of scientific experiments or industrial things or how something is made. So there is two. We posted one of these on our site. This is how an engine car works.
Ooh.
Yeah, and there's an artist. Yeah, there's an artist, and this is all he does is make these types of animations. And then this one comes from GE. This is them making a quartz tube, and it's just an animated GIF, but they showed the process, and they have a tumbler.
This is awesome. This is like how it's made, but for like 2 seconds long repetitiveness.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, so we're starting.
Heater is like perfect circle
yeah,
heater.
so we're starting to see lots of these, and it's really, animated GIFs before they were just kind of silly stuff, but now they're being used for some really cool things. So speaking of animated GIFs, we have them in our Adafruit learning system. We're up to how many tutorials, Lady Ada?
525?
525. Okay.
Sorry, pardon me, I feel tired.
Someone got hit with the tired stick.
I got hit with the tired stick.
So
I've been reading phone tutorial all day.
Yeah. So here's some things that's in the Adafruit learning system right now. This is for the 3D printed LED knuckle jewelry that I'm going to show the video for soon. Lady Ada's been sporting these all evening. We're going to show you the video during the 3D printing section.
This is a great chain too.
Yeah,
this is fun.
3D printed chain.
3D printed chain.
Next up. This is the tutorial for Fona. Lamore will be talking about
That's
Fona.
me, Lady Ada.
Yeah.
In case you're aware.
Yeah.
I have two names.
Yeah. She'll be talking about this later on in the show, but this is the full tutorial and the only one that we're aware of that shows you how to use a GSM library with Arduino. This is crazy. It's taken a really long time. These are very difficult to manufacture. We're getting good at this stuff. And it's only available here at Adafruit. Next up, this is from our Director of Fabrication and Production here, Andy. He did a NeoPixel 60-ring wall clock, and there's a tutorial on how you can build your own. So this is someone who works here in the Adafruit manufacturing facility making clocks, and we actually have this clock here, and we have a little video, just a little video. Okay, and then next
the ring has seconds, minutes, and hours, all in different LEDs, and they combine different colors.
And next up on the Adafruit learning system, and I'm going to show a video with this one. This is how to fix a GoPro battery. Now, what's funny is when we have a GoPro and we use it for certain things, and the battery just stopped working. And so I Googled, and there was a ton of people kind of making up science on how to, they're like, oh, you just put it in the microwave for a second, or you do this. Apparently it's a problem with these batteries. And
it's a problem with either the protection circuitry or the GoPro charger. What happens is if the cell gets depleted too much and it shows 0 volts, the GoPro charger circuitry or something cannot trickle charge it back up. The battery is fine, but it just can't quite get it out of the complete, because if the battery discharges all the way, it disconnects from the voltage is 0, and so the camera doesn't know that there's a battery installed. Which I'm surprised that they have this issue, because this is a pretty common.
Yeah, they're a publicly held multi-billion-dollar company.
Anyways, but you can fix it with a micro LiPo.
You can fix it. So after Lady Ada showed me how to fix my GoPro battery, I talked to Becky, and Becky also uses GoPro, and she did a little video. So here it is.
Got a GoPro with a dead battery, like completely dead and won't turn on? Ours discharged all the way and couldn't be revived by the camera. But we can bring it back to life with an Adafruit Li-Poly battery charger, and here's how. Solder 2 header pins to the JST cable that comes with your charger. Carefully position them in the clippy connectors on the battery. Make sure you get the polarity right, but check out our guide on the Adafruit learning system to learn more. Then plug in the charger and plug the charger into a powered USB port, like one from a powered hub or an AC adapter or directly on your computer, not the ones on your keyboard. You don't need to completely charge the battery this way, just enough so the GoPro can do its thing. After just a few minutes charging at 500 milliamps, this battery boots up the GoPro, which can charge it the rest of the way. Then you can get back to what you really wanted to do with your GoPro, like put it on the dog, or on a drone, or, you know, in the washing machine. Happy filming, and subscribe for more DIY electronics projects from Adafruit.
GoPro's gone through a lot, and we've also brought it back from the dead 3 times now by charging the battery. So this is very handy. Hopefully people will check out the tutorial when they have it. Yep. You shouldn't throw away the battery. The battery's totally fine. Nope. It just needs to be like kick-started a little bit.
Okay, Time Travel Tuesday. I have 2 fun things.
Okay.
So this is our weekly series, and it takes a look in the past of maker, hacker, electronic past. It's cool to see what we were doing.
What were we doing in the past?
Well, I didn't put the Adafruit one in, but in 2010 we started to put product IDs on our pages.
Wow.
Right? This is 4 years ago. Yeah. But here's other news in the world. So zip codes started being used in 1963 in the United States. So here is a little bit about zip codes. It's a system, of course, used in the United States for getting mail around. But the thing is, it was originally registered as a service mark, a type of trademark for the Postal Service, but its registration has since expired. So that was kind of neat that they wanted to trademark the word zip code.
They did have it trademarked. I remember that because people were selling like zip code directories and they didn't like it. I don't know. There was some.
And so use zip code, the last word in mail address, Mr. Zip.
Mr. Zip. Let's see Mr. Zip.
Where is Mr. Zip? I'm Mr. Zip.
He's Mr. Zip.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I'm scared of Mr. Zip.
Yeah. Another big thing I think that kind of changed the world. 1979, Sony introduces the Walkman.
That is like a sexy machine for 1979.
Yeah.
Like the kind of manufacturing capability that was around then. This is amazing. Who designed this?
This was designed. Let's see. I believe it was a prototype built by Nobuto Ishii and co-chairman Akio Morita. And the cool thing about the Walkman, I think, is I was in New York City, and it was, I don't remember what year exactly, but it was at the Apple keynote. It was like in 1999 or something. And I was walking back with a friend after they had just debuted the iPod.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, it's over. The Walkman is over for Sony."
Yeah.
And it was unfathomable because Sony still had this they had the 8-track it was called.
They had all the stuff. The Sport Walkman was still around. And the little mini Walkman, Discman.
I thought, wow, it's over. Like Apple just figured it out. And then later on, I worked for a company, and Sony was our client. And I had to help out with this thing called Walkman Row. And we were designing a gallery in Shanghai. And we had to show Walkman success through history. Because at one point, there was this, everyone had one.
Yeah.
And it was the most sold consumer electronics device for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, the iPod came out. So Walkman Row Walkman Sidewalk ended. But it was
there were
amazing.
Big players, but none of them could really touch. I mean, there was there was the Rio, and there was a couple other little MP3 players, but they all held 4 songs. So nothing could really compete against the Discman or the Walkman.
Yeah, but in 2001, and I think that's when I saw the keynote when Apple said this is the iPhone. If someone would have told me Apple would be the world's biggest electronics company, displacing Sony, I would have said, wow, I can't believe it. That seems so unlikely. But with this iPod, that's when it first started making me think, wow, they solved it. And what a cool strategy for a company to go after playing music. It's
I remember they tried to do mini disc players, and that didn't really work out.
Yeah, what a cool strategy. It was weird.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was time travel. Next up.
Gorgeous machine there. Look at that metal.
Yeah.
That was amazing. All right.
Next wearables.
Okay.
We got some wearable stuff.
What's the news?
What?
What's the news?
You know what? I actually have to skip around a little bit because
okay.
I had I was helping a customer right before I got on the show, and I couldn't put in the rest of my my stuff for wearables.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that's cool.
I got it. I'm gonna do it here.
The video that Becky made. Yeah. So Burning Man's coming up soon.
Yeah.
And also people are doing a lot more wearable projects lately. We've noticed there's been an uptick in wearable projects. And so Becky has kindly done a lovely, because she's like wearable expert #1 in the universe. Yeah. She did a great video about how to make your wearable project more rugged. Yeah. And, you know, like I've been to Burning Man like 4 or 5 times. You've been once. A couple people around here have been a couple times. Yeah. And there, you know, you can't just quite take something off of your desk and bring it to, you know, a dusty desert or on a camping trip. There's a little bit of, you know, weatherproofing and plyer proofing required. And so, you know, we can't cover everything in detail, but we have a bunch of hints in this little video. You want to show the video?
Yeah, we're going to show the video now.
Okay.
I can add it in right now. Here we go.
Let's go. Let's just do it live.
So you want to wear your projects out in the weather, huh? Maybe you're going camping or out to Burning Man or just building interactive dance costumes. Today I'm going to show you some ways to make your wearable electronics projects rugged and stand up to the elements, using what I like to call the 3 C's. The first C is construction. The mere layout of your components can do a lot to strengthen your build. Provide strain relief to wires using glue, zip ties, or stitching. Select LED strip and pixels with weatherproof silicone sheathing, and use silicone adhesive to seal everything up. Position your circuit boards in places on the body that don't bend or twist too much, like the sides of a shoe or the lapel of your jacket or inside the brim of a hat. The less physical agitation your circuit experiences, the better. If your circuit might experience dust or body humidity, you may want to use thin, flexible, silicone-coated wire instead of conductive thread. Soldered connections are less likely to get gunked up than sewn ones. The next C is for coatings. Sand and salt air can corrode your circuit board, and there are many ways to seal them off from the elements. Conformal coating, Plasti-Dip, castable plastics, and resins permanently coat your circuit to keep out moisture and buffer abrasions. Not all coatings are durable. Some break down under UV exposure. Follow all the safety instructions to protect your skin, eyes, and lungs. But if you think you might need to get in there to do some repairs later, you might want to go with something more temporary, which brings us to our last C, coverings. You can use large gauge heat shrink tubing, tablecloth vinyl, and other planar plastics to wrap around your circuits, or 3D print a flexible enclosure using Ninja Flex filament. Or just cover your circuit by keeping it in between layers of fabric. And use Sugru to ruggedize the power switch or other parts that stick out. All DIY wearables require some care and maintenance at some point, but we hope these tips will keep you up and blinking for as long as possible in rough conditions. Leave your tips for rugged wearables in the comments, and subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
Okay.
Good tips, Becky.
Yeah, I really like this because it is the perfect reply when someone asks like one of 20 questions we get about waterproofing or dustproofing or whatever. Yeah, so we could just send them a video.
And this video is good forever. Because like this stuff is going to come up forever, like, you know, siliconing, protecting, like it's the same issues that people have had since we've been sending stuff to space. Yeah. Okay, for 3D printing, I'm just going to show a quick video. This is what we talked about on the show and tell, and this is what you're wearing. This is the 3D printed LED knuckle jewelry. Take it away, Noah and Pedro.
Bling out your swag with 3D printed LED knuckle jewelry. It's styling to make this bright and blingy project with DIY electronics from Adafruit. 3D print yourself a fully assembled chain for a more casual approach. You can easily show ASCII characters or scroll messages to make custom tags. Find out how to build this project by checking out the guide on the Adafruit Learning System. Download the files to customize this design to make it match your style. Program the 14-segment LED display with the Trinket microcontroller using Arduino in the Adafruit library. So get down on some DIY and make this fabulous 3D printed project. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit.
All right, that is one of our best videos, I think, so far.
All right.
Good work, Noah and Pedro.
Amen.
We're gonna keep moving because we got so many new products.
Yeah, we got lots of going on.
Pi Day. Here's the Pi news this week, Lady Ada. First up, this is from the Learning System. Tony DeCola did. This is the automatic calibration script.
Yes. So we have the resistive touchscreen for the Pi TFT is lovely and works very well. We have a great controller, but one thing about resistive touchscreens is that the touchscreen doesn't know how the display is rotated. So you can you can just rotate the display to be like 9 degrees, vertical, horizontal, whatever. You can rotate around, but you also have to recalibrate the touchscreen. And like a lot of people were having difficulties with, especially if they didn't do the default rotation. So we have a script now that you can run that will automatically detect what rotation you have set up and pre-fill out the calibration data, so it kind of just works out of the box. It should make things a lot easier for people using the Pi TFT, especially if they're using like vertical or reverse rotation. Or
okay,
whatever.
Next up, it's not out yet. Don't ask. Sort of. But it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be great. This is the Pi Girl. This is one of the coolest projects I think that is truly Adafruit. It is a Raspberry Pi 3D printed Game Boy, or as we like to call it, Game Girl case. And you can play.
Yeah, it's playing Super Mario 3
Super Mario 3 right now.
You can play any Nintendo games.
That'll
like
be
so
out
fun.
tomorrow, so you guys watch it. It's on learn.adafruit.com now. But
and
tomorrow,
it's easy to build too. We worked really hard to make this like a weekend project
Yeah.
that people can actually build with a 3D printer and like not even that many parts.
Next up, if you want to win $314 by just taking a photo with your Raspberry Pi and camera, you can. It is the Raspberry Pi Photography Awards. Just take a photo, tag it #RPPA, and yes, you can win $314.
How long is this contest running for?
It's going to be going until like July. So if you have a Raspberry Pi and a camera and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, all you have to do is do that. You can post it on Flickr, on Twitter. You can email it to us. We have all the instructions on adafruit.com/RPPA. And we have some amazing judges. We have the folks from Adafruit who do many things with Raspberry Pis. If you had a Raspberry Pi, one of these people had something to do with it. Liz from the Raspberry Pi Foundation is our celebrity guest judge. And we even have a photo example to get you started.
Is this a celebrity judge cat?
This is celebrity judge cat. No, this is Carmen. This is Tony's cat, and this is a photo taken with a Raspberry Pi.
Cat looks kind of sad. This is like a bummed out cat.
Cats always look like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Morose.
No, they're in deep thought. It's a cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thinking really hard about cat.
So yeah.
Okay.
So
take some photos. Just remember, you can't modify it in Photoshop or GIMP. However, you can use the built-in filters in the camera. Like there's all these like filters and setups and like effects you can do. That's cool, but we want to get like au naturel Pi camera action. You can also use a webcam, although we suggest use the Pi camera because it's very good resolution, high resolution, and works quite well. And the Pi Noir is also available if you want to take some cool photography with the IR stuff going on. That's cool too.
Okay, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. Code is FONA in celebration of FONA, our open source phone platform. So with all that being said, Lady Ada, it is time to do new products.
Okay.
It's new product time.
Okay, why don't you show the first thing, which is just a photo.
All right. Well, the first thing that I'm going to show is a very, I'm just going to show a snippet of this video. We just posted up this video of flowing Yale wire.
Yeah.
So, if you ever want to know what it is, it's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adafruit. We got that going. Next up, and you can watch the whole video later, it's exciting. We have a coming soon. This is the FM radio transmitter.
I'm waiting for parts to come in, but the design is done, and we even have a tutorial ready to go. I was expecting chips, and chips didn't show up, but they'll show up soon, maybe a week or so, and we will get this in. It's an FM transmitter that can do RDS, RDBS as well. Ooh.
Yeah.
How fancy.
It's the only one out there that I know of.
Yeah, it's like the only chip I know that does this.
Next up, 3 different Magpies.
We have, I think, 22, 21, and 20. These have a lot of cool projects. People love this. It's not even that expensive as a full printed magazine goes. These are made on a Raspberry Pi. They're full of Raspberry Pi love. They've just got projects, videos, tutorials, ads, everything you'd ever want in a Raspberry Pi magazine. They have managed to publish for like once a month for like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Just not easy, by the way.
Well, a lot of people always ask, what can they do to support this magazine? Because they like all the articles. You can buy a copy.
Buy a copy. We have it. You can ship from the U.S.
Okay. Next up, if you're interested in the Swift programming language and you're going to run a workshop or a class or something and you want to reward everyone afterwards, you can
maybe you want to reward yourself for learning the newest, coolest language.
Yeah.
I haven't really learned any languages since like Lisp. So I'm really behind.
Yeah. We'll migrate our iOS apps to this at some point.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
We use Unity though. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll probably migrate though.
Anyways, I don't even know Objective-C, but maybe you're cooler than I am, so you can use Swift.
This is good for workshops. They're starting to do this already. People are having classes and stuff. So if you want a Swift badge,
we should have a badge for learning assembler.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta work on that.
Solder. We have now skinny Rojas solder. This is lead-free solder. We have leaded solder. You see on the right, that's the leaded solder, which is 0.8 millimeter in diameter. It's a little thicker, which is really good for through-hole solder and a little really big fine pitch. But we do fine pitch in-house, and also a lot of people who are customers want to do fine pitch SMT, or this like thinner solder. We also have on the right, left, whichever way you're looking at, 0.5 millimeter diameter. It's no clean rosin. It's lead-free SEC 305. It's really good for any lead-free shop. It's really good solder. I've used it, and it comes in a spool of 50 grams. So very good for most hobbyists. It'll last you quite a few months. Way more than those little tubes. I hate those little tubes. They're just useless. It was like one kit. I mean, like, what's the point?
Next up, this is from our friends at Octopart.
Yeah.
And this is the Pocket PCB. It was a popular crowd supply.
Yeah, it was a crowd supply project. I don't think it was on Kickstarter. I actually don't remember if it was on Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
It was on a crowd-funded.
But this was designed by Octopart and I think also Star Simpson, right? She had a part in this. So this is actually a PCB that's multicolored, which is pretty crazy. They actually have multiple silk screens on it, and they have really beautiful gold pads. I mean, I can show it on the overhead, but this is actually much nicer. And on the other side, it has a resistor chart. So it's got like 8 silk screens on it. Yeah. It's got every color silk screen on. I don't understand how they actually managed to do this.
Some person in the comments had said on Google Plus, they're like, oh, that seems expensive for just a piece of paper with print on it. It's not. It's actually a PCB.
It's actually a PCB with gold pads and multicolored prints.
Yeah,
so this is like the fanciest PCB I've ever seen. I mean, it's actually harder to get multiple colors. And then they have gray silk as well. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And like BGA and QFP and SOIC. So we have a ruler, but if you want a card, and this is a nice card, check it out. This is a very nice little pocket PC.
Next up, you go through this part pretty quick. These are just these wires.
We already had the black, red, and white silicone wires. These are now blue, yellow, green, orange, and gray. These are stranded core silicone wire. What's nice about them is they can carry a lot of current, but they're stranded and very flexible. The silicone coating means that you can use them up to 200 degrees C. We actually used them yesterday to extend some thermocouple wires while we were profiling our oven. So then they can handle 200 degrees C, no problem. And up to 600 volts, they have really good insulation. And they're very flexible, much more flexible than PVC coated wires. So they're good for like wearables and other projects. We wanted to have some stranded core in the store. And I just kind of like this as like if you're doing wearable projects or you have a flexible wire harness, silicone coated wire is super high quality and a little easier to use than the Teflon coated stuff, which is kind of a pain to strip.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we're zooming right along. This is a big deal. This is a new material that is now available to you out there, Pyrolux.
Yeah, this is big because it took me 2 years to get this stuff. And I'll just hold it up and then I'll show it on the overhead. I'll show how big this is. So this is a square of 6-inch by 6-inch Pyrolux. And I'm starting out with only single-sided copper on one side and polyamide on the back. And this is what's used to make flexible circuits. So if you have anything with a flex circuit, like LED strips, or if you have like any camera, phone, or watch, probably has flex PCB in it. This is the raw PC material, and it's flexible. So let's go to the overhead, and I'll show this off a little bit.
To the overhead. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
So yeah, this is. Maybe you can. Yeah, this is good. All right. So this is flexible PC material, and on the back is polyamide Kapton, basically, and then there's copper. And so this is basically just like a copper PCB, like copper clad PCB with 1 ounce copper. You can etch it, you can engrave it. You might be able to laser cut it, but we don't know what, you might need like a really powerful laser to do so. But you can cut it with scissors, and it's a lot more flexible than copper tape. So copper tape cracks, and this stuff doesn't. Like you have to use it a lot more for it to crack. And it can carry a huge amount of current because it's basically just like PCB material. So for example, I soldered it here, like I made these little strips, and they're super flexible, and they won't crack like copper tape. And then I just have these, I mean, this is like super bright, but it's a 1 watt LED, and it doesn't get warm at all. So for wearables or projects where you want flexibility, this material is excellent, and there's like nothing like it, and this is why it's used for flex material. And it took us a couple of years to get this, actually.
Is Adafruit the only store with it that you know of?
I have not found anywhere else to buy this because I would have bought it.
Okay.
And I actually had to, we went to Apex Expo, and DuPont was there showing off this material. They're like, oh, we have new Pyrolux. This is what everyone uses for flex PCB material. And we said, hey, we really want to buy some of this. And they're like, oh, you don't really like sell to people who don't make PCBs for a living. And I'm like, yeah, but like this is a really cool material. And so they said, well, we have a distributor and you could talk to them. And the distributor was actually across the hall. And when we talked to the distributor, the guy was like kind of like punk rock. He had like a mohawk and like tattoos. And we were all like, wow, that's cool. We also listened to like Depeche Mode or like metal. I don't know what he listened to. But he was really cool. And we chatted with him and he said, look, do you guys have any remainders? Because, you know, a reel is like 100 meters by 3 meters. It's a lot. But maybe they have pieces that are left over from when they do a run. And he said, yeah, we can sell those to you and you guys can cut them up and just have small pieces. So that was in February. And now we finally got the shipment in. So this is really neat. I want to see people etch this with, you know, just press and peel blue or whatever. And maybe even you can use another mill to cut or engrave it. You might also be able to use like a cutter to cut out circuits from this material. It's very durable. So good stuff. I'm excited about this.
Okay.
We'll do fun projects with Pyrolux.
Next up, look at these nice wires.
Oh yeah, we have these wires. These are weird. So, yeah, can you stop on this photo?
Okay.
This is like basically my demo. So most of the time we have cables that go from 0.1 millimeter to 0.1 millimeter, so 0.1 inch to 0.1 inch, so they can fit into breadboards and like have headers and stuff. This wire goes from 0.1 inch, like on the breadboard down here, to 2 millimeter. So you can plug it into something like an XB that has 2 millimeter pitch instead of 0.1 inch pitch. So it's 2.45 millimeter to 2 millimeter, and they're sockets so that they're you can connect it from like, we use some header just to plug into a breadboard. But if you ever have these modules or like some other plug-in thing and it uses 2 millimeter pitch and you're really annoyed because 2 millimeter doesn't quite fit inside your breadboard because it's off by quite a bit, like 50%, you can use this to create a wire adapter. And here I'm just showing you with an XB. You can use it with anything that uses 2 millimeter and just plug them in. It work really great.
Okay.
Very handy.
All right.
And then we have a photo. Can you show the next photo?
I'm just going to show the next photo.
Yeah. So it just shows you how it's split in from the bigger 0.1 inch chunks to the littler 2 millimeter. And then this is just me breaking out an XP onto a breadboard.
Okay. Next up, NeoPixels. More NeoPixels.
NeoPixels. Let me set up my demo.
We have a demo? Okay. How about I show some photos while you set up the demo?
These are diffused 5 millimeter NeoPixels. We have 8 millimeter, and now we have 5. So I'm just plugging this in, and you can go to the overhead. And so these are, they look like RGB LEDs, but they're not. They're actually a chip that's compatible with the NeoPixel library. I think it's a NeoPixel chip, but I don't really know. Right. And you have data in, and then you just can chain them together like on this breadboard, and you get, you know, multiple colors with only one pin. So there's only one pin controlling all of these LEDs, and they're just cycling through colors.
That's cool.
They're handy. We have 8 millimeter, now we have 5 millimeter. The clear 5 millimeters got discontinued, but the diffused 5 millimeters are available, and they look really great, and they plug into a breadboard, and they're really bright, so I have to shade them a little bit so you can see the color. And they're diffused, and I don't know, fun.
Okay.
I think they're fun.
All right, next up, there's more.
Demo away.
There's more.
Yeah.
More LEDs.
Yay. All right, hold on. So this time I'm going to, hold on. I have a lot of demos I got to set up here.
Yeah.
This is, and I'll hold this up because this is easier to just hold up.
Okay.
This is LPD 8806 LED strip, which you can see reflecting on me. It's like super bright and colorful. And this is digital addressable LED strip, and it's not NeoPixel because it actually has 2 pins. It has clock and data. And the reason that we're carrying this is a higher density than the one we had before. And the reason we're carrying this instead of not just neopixels, there's a lot of microcontrollers and processors that can't handle the specific timing of neopixels, which require very specific bit timing. Like you can't really do it on like a Linux or a basic stamp or single board computer or many other processors. Like even like NetDuino has difficulties with it because it's not real time. But this, because it's SPI, you can drive it with like any speed, any processor. I drove these from a Raspberry Pi in like 1 second. They're really, really easy to use. So I like having both options. The NeoPixel is a little less expensive and has higher density, but this stuff can be driven by any processor, and it's not at all picky about the data timings. You basically just like clock the data as fast as you want or slow as you want, and then you send it like a couple of FFFFs, and then it's like, okay, great, and it latches the data. So
that's cool. It's beautiful.
Yep.
All right. And next up, the star of the show besides you, Fona.
Okay. Did we really get through everything? That's pretty good.
Well,
you told me to rush. So
yeah. So Fona's here. This is our nice Fona logo, and before you start showing Fona, Lady Ada,
okay. I'm not showing it.
Can you say why you wanted to have the best open platform for microcontrollers that uses cell phone and data and all that? Why is it important?
Well, we have Bluetooth that we took care of with Bluetooth. Like people were asking for a really long time, can you have Bluetooth Classic? And we said we can't because it all sucks. We're gonna do something right. And we finally did Bluetooth Classic with Bluefruit, and it's awesome. We have Easy Key and Easy Link, and they're great. And then people were like, great, well, we want Bluetooth Low Energy. And we're like, not a problem, we're gonna take care of that. And we did Bluefruit LE, and we made like the best and easiest Bluetooth Low Energy board with tutorials and libraries and breakout, the breakout. And we're even expanding the Bluefruit line more. We're gonna be doing more stuff with Bluetooth Low Energy. And then people are like, wow, that's really great. We also want Wi-Fi. And we're like, yeah, we'll do this Wi-Fi thing. And so I have a box of every single Wi-Fi module made, and I tried them all, and I didn't really like most of them. And then the CC3000 from TI came out, and I was like, this is the one. This is pretty good. It's low cost. It's powerful. It can have multiple sockets. It has SPI. And we made a breakout and shield, and it's really great. And we'll also be doing stuff with the CC3100. And then the only thing left was cellular. We didn't have anything for cellular communication. We had Bluetooth, Bluetooth Low Energy, Wi-Fi. We've always, just had Ethernet and stuff with the Arduino Ethernet, but nothing with cellular. And actually, I started working on cellular stuff like 2 years ago. I started collecting modules and trying them out, and all of them were either like too chunky or had weird power requirements, or like they're a little too big or too difficult to use, or I didn't quite like the feel of them. And I wanted one that was really modern, had a lot of capabilities. And then a couple weeks ago, I was actually looking for something random, and it came across this module, the SIM 800, and it just came out, and I was like, this is a super cute module. It's small. It's designed for wearables. Clearly, it's small enough to fit in a watch. Super small. It's based off of the MediaTek chipset. I'll do a decapping later for people who are interested in the decap. There's a MediaTek chipset inside. And it's basically this powerful processor that does all of the stuff you want for a cell phone and just acts kind of like a modem. You can do stuff like phone calls, SMSs, data, GPRS. You can like fetch a website. You can listen to FM radio. It's got a lot of stuff going on there. Okay. And I was like, this is a cool module. So I was like, let's make a breakout. Let's make it really small and very powerful, and add all the stuff necessary to make it usable, really usable.
And there's no GSM library really that works well for an Arduino right now, is there?
Well, there's the Arduino GSM, but that's for the Telefonica module, which is okay, but I thought it was a little bit too big. So basically, like, I wrote my own code, and I'm trying to write a library that makes it easy and powerful to use. So instead of just like you're like typing out AT commands, it actually kind of wraps everything nicely. Okay. So there's a tutorial and library for it as well.
Well, let's see this board. So here it is. This is a cell phone. This is so weird. We're now a US phone manufacturer.
It's all in one module and chip. Oh, can you just stop here so I can talk about the parts? So in the center is the SIM-COM module, and that's the thing that does the phone stuff. And then on the left, there's on the left all the way, there's a UFL connector. I'll show that, connect an antenna. We also have a version with an SMA, so you can just, attach the antenna directly. There's also a battery charging and circuit on it. A lot of cellular Breakouts don't have the battery charging stuff built in, but I was like, you know what? If you're going to use a cell phone module, chances are you're going to have it be wireless, like not connected to power. So why not just have the battery and battery charging circuit on board so you can easily charge and power your project from just the module? So that's at the bottom. You can see there's a micro USB jack and then a battery connection. There's LEDs for indication as well. And there's also a headset. This module is really nice in that it can use either a headset, like a standard Android style, you know, like 2 earphones and a little microphone headset, or it can use an external speaker and mic. So you can switch between the two, just kind of like on your phone, you have the speaker and mic, or you can plug in a headset. So this is kind of cool because you can do speakerphone style or headset style. And then I have level shifting circuitry on here and some protection circuitry. And on the back is the SIM card. So maybe skip 2 ahead or 1 ahead. Yeah, 2 ahead. So on the back is the SIM card holder, and you can use any mini SIM that's a GSM SIM. T-Mobile is what in the US I suggest. They have an active 2G network. They are supported pretty much everywhere, and it's like $20 a month. We're also looking to find a place that we can work with to get you a SIM that will work, that's specifically for people who are using this stuff with machine to machine, so that it's lower cost.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you pay by the SMS, or you pay, you know, once a day or something per day instead of $20 a month. But you can get any SIM card. I went to the T-Mobile store and just bought a SIM card and plugged it in, and it worked great.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, it has breakouts, so it works with an Arduino or any other kind of processor.
And we have a couple different types in the store now.
Yeah,
We got this type.
That's the type that has the UFL connector. So it's a little mini connector, and this one has an SMA connector, which is a bigger, chunkier connector. And the chunkier connector we have to hand solder, so it's a little more expensive. If you don't mind having the little connector, you know, you can just have a wire that adapts to it.
What's cool is it's starting to look like a little phone. Hello.
So we've had a couple of cell stuff in the store waiting for all this release, finally get all the parts in this week so we can make it. And I have a little demo. That hopefully
We're going to do a live demo of this?
I'm going to try to do a live demo of this.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the overhead.
Okay. So I have got my Fona, and I've got the battery, and then I've got this is the UFL to antenna. And I'm going to move this out of the way. So let's see if this works. So I just coded this up like 5 minutes beforehand. So if it doesn't work, don't get too upset. So so this is my code, and you can see the Fona. You know, it'll blink and it'll be working.
Fona's okay.
Fona okay. So what this does is it waits for an SMS.
Okay.
And once it gets an SMS, it'll display it. So you can try sending an SMS too. I don't know.
Okay, we'll raise.
The only thing I have to test this with is like the crappy flip phone.
Okay.
So let me try sending an SMS and see how long it takes. All right, so I sent it.
That was fast. Okay.
Well, I just resent my Hello World test.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if it works.
Waiting for SMS. Oh, there it is. This
Hello
is Lady 80 call. Okay.
This is Lady 80 calling, but my thing is too short. So if you want, you can also try sending an SMS, or
no, it's fine.
Later, or maybe when it's ready for asking questions. It took me like 5 minutes to type out with a little keypad because I keep pressing the buttons. Anyways, this is just a demo showing receiving an SMS and printing it out. And this is like 10 lines of code, super easy. You just query the number of SMSs when a new one comes in, print it out, you get the ASCII text, print it out, and then you can delete it and wait for another SMS. So that's it. It's super easy to use this stuff. And I'm looking forward to a lot of cool cellular projects. You can make a phone out of it. You can make an SMS text message thing. You can do data.
Yeah, can you use the Fona?
Arduino phone.
What's the smallest Arduino or Arduino-like thing you could use with the Fona?
A micro would be really good. It's a little bit too much for a trinket because unless you want to just like send an SMS, that it can do. But if you want to like receive data or like anything more complicated.
Well, with a trinket, that'd be kind of neat because you could do a trinket, a battery, and the Fona, and you can maybe do a sensor like water.
You can do a basic sensor with a trinket where it reads an analog value and SMSs it.
So
that's like the limit of what it can do.
So if your basement gets wet, for instance, it can text you.
Yeah.
So people have asked for that before.
Yeah.
Because you can't, a lot of these like Internet of Things projects or platforms are so broad where someone just wants something specific. No, I own a restaurant. When my basement floods, I just want to get a text. That's all I want. That's all I want.
When the fire goes off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing more projects with this. This is like the first one that came out of the oven. And this was actually very interesting because the module is very hard to reflow. So we've been learning a lot about oven profiling to try to get the manufacturing of this really good. So that's why it's going to take a while for it to be like in stock with high quantity because we're still kind of working it out.
We're selling tons of these already. It happened really fast, but most companies have had a couple decades to learn how to manufacture millions of cell phones. We've just been doing it for
like 1 week.
We've just been doing it for a week. Okay, Lady Ada, with that is the new products.
All right.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good work, good work, good work. Okay, folks can start asking questions in the chat. We'll do the best we can. We'll answer some questions right away. I'll start out with, because I saw some of these. So how does it work with data? Or will it not be the same as, it's not a dedicated Wi-Fi connection, for instance?
It's not dedicated Wi-Fi, so the cellular module has support for data. Unfortunately, the SIM I got was voice only, so when I tried to access a web page, it says like, you need to upgrade your SIM. But you can, and we will add support later for GPRS data. We're not sure if it's passed through. We have to do a little bit more experimentation, but you can definitely do stuff like query a web page and grab the web page, or post data to a web page, and that actually is handled inside by the module. It has like an HTTP parser type thing going on. So you can say like HTTP get and then the URL, and it will grab that for you and like reply with like a socket, and then you can ask for data from that socket. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Does the phone work with Flora?
It could work with Flora. I haven't tested it with Flora, but it works for the micro because Tony collated. So we will probably show how to do a Fona Flora project. So remember, the Fona requires a lot of power, so you have to power it separately, and then share that power with the Flora, but you can't power it over little wires. It has to be powered separately.
What's better, the UFL or the SMA version? Do you have any preferences?
There's no better. If it's in a box, you may want the UFL. If you want it to be compact, you might want the SMA. We're offering both options.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. The UFL just has a longer cable that you can then route to a box, which is desirable, so that you can have the phone in the middle.
Someone wants to know, is there a battery charger on board?
That's right. There is a battery charger on board. Your chargers are micro USB, and we'll recharge the battery for you.
And why did you do that?
Because it's useful. I mean, like, you're not going to use the Fona without a battery. Otherwise, like, it's a cell module. It's going to be wireless. You're not going to use it without power. And also, one of the benefits is that it can run without a power source. And the battery is also good because you can charge it while you run it. Okay. That's possible.
Does it work in Europe?
Yeah, you just need a GSM SIM.
In fact, one of the things that's cool is
it's worldwide.
GSM is worldwide.
GSM is worldwide.
And so I think we'll see a lot of people use this for lots of different applications where all they want is just an SMS notification about something. You can just leave it there forever. Mm-hmm. And in Europe,
it can even roam. Like, it has the ability to turn on or turn off roaming capabilities.
In Europe, it's a lot easier to deal with SIM cards too. You can get SIM cards a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. So you can get any SIM card. Again, like, people are like, I don't want to bring the phone into the cell phone store. And I'm like, you don't. Just go to the cell phone store and ask for a SIM card. We're going to try to carry them soon. But for now, any T-Mobile distributor, you just ask for the card, and they'll just sell it to you, and they'll just take your name and the credit card, and you can prepay it. So I just have a prepaid card. It's $25 a month.
So next up, directional Yagi for those who live from a cell tower. Could you put a directional?
You can put any antenna you want. It has SMA. You can, most cell phone accessory shops have like antennas you maybe can get. We'll look to get more powerful antennas. We have a 2 dBi antenna. We're going to look to get a 5 or 8 dBi antenna. But yeah, any SMA that can work with the frequency you use in your country is perfectly fine. We just have a quad band.
Okay. Next up, any ETA of the FM transmitter boards being back in stock? Waiting for a part, probably like a
week or two.
Yeah. And then what is the FM capabilities of the Fona?
The Fona, I don't know why they added it, but it can do FM reception. It can't do transmission. It just does reception. And it works pretty well as a digital tuner, and you can listen to music.
Yeah.
And it works. It's actually really good for testing the capabilities. It uses the headset as the antenna, but even without the headset, it kind of works.
Tony DeCola said the Fona does FM playback. You can tell what frequency to tune it, and it'll play the audio. Yeah. Tony has Fona number 2 off the Fona assembly line, like, so he was able to do stuff.
Tune 101.3, and it will just like tune to 101.3.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
And as someone said in the chat, like, FM is really popular in places around the world.
Yeah, I don't think you can route the FM into the phone input. Like, I think you can either do FM or audio, and I'm not exactly sure why they added it, but I think it's for wearable watches, like wearable cell phone watches, so you can like have them also
Okay.
Play FM.
And we're going to answer a couple more questions for tonight. Anyone who's in the YouTube chat's going to be able to answer the question. We did Ustream last week. This week is YouTube. So if you're in the YouTube comments, get ready. But here's another question before we do the trivia question. How does the phone communicate with the Arduino? What protocol?
It uses UART.
UART.
Every cell phone module uses UART. It is a standard thing. So you have to use UART, but we have code that kind of wraps it up into a software serial. Adding a reset pin is handy. There's also a couple other pins you can use for it'll tell you when a message is SMS or phone call has been received. It'll toggle a pin so you can interrupt on that. And a couple other little pins and stuff.
Okay, I need to do some housekeeping here. Just remember, we're about to do the trivia question. Head over to the YouTube comments if you want to answer it.
Okay, you guys ready?
Well, not yet. First up, Fona is the code tonight. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store.
Including Fonas.
If we have any left, that's right.
Also, this is like the lowest cost cell phone module.
How much is it?
I've seen. This is like $40.
$40.
Usually cell phone modules and shields go for if you get the knockoff ones, you can maybe get them for like $50 or $60, and they're like chunky and they don't come with a battery charger or anything.
Yeah.
And then the higher end ones can be up to like $100.
Yeah.
So this is $40. I tried to make this small, low cost, but extremely good quality.
I've got a question for you.
What?
So you made a cell phone jammer. Now you're making cell phones.
I know.
So you've kind of I've
come around.
I feel like you're now in balance.
Here's the deal. I really wanted a cell phone, but I'm like, I have to build my own. So I want to try to build my own open source hardware cell phone that uses all open source components. I mean, the module itself isn't open source, but it uses AT commands. And that's like a pretty open API in my opinion.
And one of the other things, still letting folks get over to the comments on YouTube, one of the reasons that we're able to finally do things like this is our manufacturing setup is amazing. Here's a quick photo. I'm going to do a video later, but this is our stenciler and our two Samsungs. They're both running. We're now incredibly fast. We're the only people we know with a 481 and a 482, certainly in this area, and we're burning through our inventory so fast. Because we are
killer fast. The new 481 is twice as fast, at least, as the 482.
I'm going to do some videos soon. The boards fly through these things.
Yeah, so, the oven now is the slowest thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
So, with all that being said, Lady Ada, it is time to give away something. Let's give away a Fona.
For reals?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's give away a Fona. Let's give away a Fona, you
can get a UFL or SMA. I mean, it's
up
to them.
If you win,
whichever one's in stock too.
Well, if you win, specify UFL or SMA.
I have one of each here, so you can.
What are the rules?
The rules are: if you've entered before, you can't enter this contest. Is only one winner per my lifetime, and we're keeping score, so don't even try. Just sit on your hands. You'll win this phone. The first person with the correct spelling and typing and whatever words that Phil comes up with.
Yeah.
And I'll actually toss in an antenna and a battery so that you can get started immediately.
Okay.
I'm being extra nice. You get the full kit.
All right. So here is the trivia question. It'll be the first person I see who types this in the YouTube chat. YouTube comments.
Not Ustream.
All right. You ready?
YouTube.
Hey, while you're there, hit the subscribe button because we're probably going to do something crazy for subscribers at some point. But while you're there waiting to hear this trivia question, you can do that. But here's the question.
Okay.
What year did the Walkman come out? Made it really easy this week, folks. We had Time Travel Tuesday. What year did it come out?
Time Travel Tuesday is a common source of...
Yeah. I feel like it's a test at the end. So in the YouTube chat, first person to type in the year... The Walkman came out.
I wish I'd gotten this instead of like a class ring when I graduated from school.
Look at this. So this is the year.
Yeah,
there.
That's the date.
And then let's watch and see who types it in first. It's going to come here any second. Which year did the Walkman get released? The answer is, your shop is awesome. Nope. Close.
Close. Good try. Good try.
Thank you.
And don't forget, you get an A for effort.
Yeah, don't forget 10% off in the okay, 2 Cubed. Congratulations, 1979. That is right. We had that on there.
You're 2 Cubed. You fine winner of this Fona.
Okay, 2 Cubed. You won. Congratulations. Email support@adafruit.com. Specify if you want a UFL or SMA.
And I'll also toss in a 500 milliamp hour battery and an antenna so that you have your full kit.
Okay. We'll probably go...
There's nothing worse than like, oh, I got this thing, but I can't use it.
Yeah. We'll probably... someone wants to know if they won on Wearable Wednesday, can they win on Ask an Engineer, yeah, it's fine.
You can win one per show, because it's one per lifetime of my lifetime, and there's one per Becky's lifetime.
Okay, everyone, that's the show. Thank you very much. Thank you all the Adafruit people here working late tonight. Thank you all the people in the chat from Adafruit. Thank you all the people on the show and tell who show their projects. Special thanks to all of our remote Adafruit team members, and always thank you to everyone in the Adafruit community, customers, and more. You make it possible for us to make open source cell phones
and game girls
and 3D printed game girls and all these fun things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget the code is FONA, 10% off all the way up until midnight tonight. Use it or lose it.
Kirby's Adventure.
With that, here's a picture of a cat. We'll see everyone next week. Here is your moment of Zener.